glenbeck.com. She'll put it available at glenbeck.com. It'll be ready, and please send that to your friends. Tweet it, Facebook it, get it out. Let me give you another piece. Senator John McCain's propaganda trip to Syria recently. He posed for some pictures. Two of the rebels that he posed with are terrorists from the Sunni Northern Storm Brigade. Okay. The name Mahmoud Nuar and Abu Ibrahim. They have been identified as men who took part in the kidnappings of 11 Shias last year. Oh, that's good. The Shias, by the way, are Iranians. 9 of these guys are still being held hostage. Now, when he took this picture, he was asked later, and John McCain said, well, I didn't know who they were, otherwise I wouldn't have posed with them. You wouldn't have posed with them? Why are you even talking to them, and especially if you don't know who they are? That's a pretty big problem, isn't it, Mr. John McCain, Republican? Now, the administration has said, well, we're going to vet the rebels before arming them. If you can't even find out who the guys are posing for a picture with a visiting United States senator, how in the world are you going to manage vetting the thousands of rebel soldiers? Answer, you're not. You're not. We're at the end here, gang. This administration does not, they don't care. And they have been doing it for some time now, working with terrorists. And before this administration, it was Bush. This is the worst case scenario of where I thought we were headed when I started talking about the caliphate. Let's just review, shall we? In Egypt, the president threw his support behind the Muslim Brotherhood, the radicals, in order to oust Mubarak. It wasn't just the president. Remember, it was the progressive Republicans like Bill Kristol and John McCain who said, no, no, no. It's the Freedom and Justice Party, and they're non-secular. Well, let me show you this. This is up on the Blaze. I haven't seen this anyplace. And you got to ask yourself why. This is the non-secular, they just love everybody, founder of the Justice and Progress Party in Egypt. Watch carefully the translation at the bottom of the screen.
اليهود لا يستطيعوا أن يعيشوا بدون حرب بدون مؤامرات وبدون مكر بدون خديعة فلنطمئن أن اليهود لن يحافظوا على السلام ولن يسعوا للسلام. ده في قضية مشهورة جدا اللي هي إن هم في عيد الفصح بيعملوا فطيرة اسمها فطيرة دم صهيون. يجيبوا واد مسيحي ويذبحوه يقطعوا عروق ويذبحوه وياخدوا دم ويعملوا بيها فلسطين.
Guys, this has been so discredited for so long. This is a czarist thing. This is a Hitler. This is why they line up to kill Jews. Are you kidding me? And this is a guy we helped put in office from the progressives in the Republicans and the Democrats. Now, let me show you another one. Remember, we helped Morsi in, who, when I told you they were going to be the president, we were going to elect Muslim Brotherhood, they said, no, that's crazy. The Muslim Brotherhood doesn't want anything to do with politics. Well, who is President Morsi? He's Muslim Brotherhood. And he was having what some members in Egypt, who are now newly elected, part of the regime we put in because it would be better for everybody, they thought they were in a confidential meeting with President Morsi. I want you to see what one of the members said. Watch.
طبعا حضرتك يمكن أنا من هواة المعارك وأحب المعارك جدا مع الأعداء طبعا مع أمريكا وإسرائيل لكن هذه المعركة لابد أن تخاض بمنتهى الحكمة والهدوء والسكون ولو الاجتماع ده سري ونقسم على ألا نسرب للإعلام أي كلمة دي بعد.
We must take an oath not to leak anything because we're in a secret meeting. You know who is sitting at the end of that table? President Morsi, our friend, and he interrupted him, and he didn't say, hey, here's what he said. I just want you to know, this is not a secret meeting. This is being broadcast. No one in the media has reported that. Time to wake your neighbors up. We are being sold like lambs to slaughter. In Libya, President Obama armed al-Qaeda terrorists in order to oust Gaddafi. And then we went back in, and this is what Benghazi was all about. We went back in and we tried to get those guns back, and then we sold them through Turkey into Syria. In Syria, the president has been sending arms to terrorists for months. This is not according to Glenn Beck and the Blaze. This is the New York Times reporting back in March, quote, "The United States has been helping Arab governments and Turkey send arms to the rebels." Remember the guy eating the liver and the heart? This is nothing new. The only difference is now our president is going directly to the guys eating the organs. We're not going through weapons brokers anymore like Turkey. Why? Because Turkey is now on fire. The world is about to spiral into chaos. So now, the president is under attack. The president's polling numbers, he's lost 17 points in the last 30 days with his youth supporters. Why? Well, because despite everything anybody might have thought, they might actually have a brain and are paying attention. So why, as his numbers are polling, why would he ramp up his war rhetoric, which is something especially the youth do not agree with at all? The excuse given? Syria crossed the line. They used chemical weapons. Watch.
But again, we are doing this for a variety of reasons, including the fact that there needs to be a consequence for a regime that uses chemical weapons, and the opposition on the ground needs additional support, given the dire situation of being faced with a regime that uses chemical weapons and has this type of foreign fighter support as well.
I mean, who the hell is this guy? Who is he? I mean, honestly, he looks like some guy from IT. And I was like, I ain't going out and say, you say that. By the way, the intelligence community, the same intelligence community that told you, looked you square in the face and said, what happened in Benghazi, that's because of a YouTube video. They're the ones who say now they have high confidence that Assad used chemical weapons on a small scale against the opposition. Okay, let's just talk about this here for a second. A small scale. There are 93,000 dead people in Syria. They're now saying that between 100 and 150 people have had chemical weapons used on them. Okay, first, why should we believe anything our administration or our intelligence community says to us? They have been proven time and time again of liars. And for all the Democrats, you didn't believe this one on Bush. Really? With all of this evidence, you're going to believe this? And I'm telling you, your family and your children, they are at stake. We can forget about all of the differences between are we going to pay for contraceptives or not pay for contraceptives. If we get into this war, we are going against Iran and Russia. It's not good. I'm standing with you. If you're a Democrat, if you're a liberal, I'll stand with you. This is a point where we have to unite people together. Now, the second thing, the UN estimates 93,000 people have died in Syria. But now, because the method to kill 100 or 150 people, which would be 0.001%, suddenly, keywords, we have a responsibility to protect. We're compelled to act. Really? It's an excuse that doesn't match reality. The real reason they're saying they're pretty sure chemical weapons are being used is because of polling numbers. That's it. You're more apt to buy it if they're using chemical weapons. And for a brilliant Harvard genius, this doesn't work. This does not sound logic. Death is death. How people are being killed shouldn't matter. That how many more people are being killed. Would it have been? Would we have said if they were killing the Jews in Germany, 93,000 Jews in Germany were dead? Oh, but they used a gas chamber on 100 of them, and the rest of them were taken out and shot. Would it make a difference? This rationale doesn't make any sense. Now, here's the truth about Syria, and the real reason behind the president's fuzzy logic. This is not a new decision. This goes back to what I've told you the whole time. We have been supporting the rebels and the terrorists for months and months and months. It started under George Bush. We are on the wrong side. Now, this president has upped the ante like crazy and he is trying to keep the battle under the radar. But he's been forced to up the ante now because, for one thing, the press is starting to snoop around. Secondly, the rebels are losing and losing badly. But he has a problem because nobody supports another kinetic military action in the Middle East. So how do you up the war ante when there is virtually no public support for war with Syria? Wild card, chemical weapons. Public support for intervention in Syria skyrockets. Crazy dictator uses chemical weapons on his people, skyrockets. So that's what they'll use. Obama is using this knowledge to manipulate you. The problem is, this is not about the Syrian people. It is not. Remember, I'm the guy who said the head of the snake is Iran. But I also told you, 6 years ago, better deal with it now because soon you won't be able to. This is about a war against these guys. And we lose. First of all, these guys are really, really bad. But have you seen our guys? They're eating the hearts and livers out of people. It seems like something we should be into. We are throwing gasoline onto a burning fire in the Middle East, and it's these damn Republicans that are right along with them. This president is putting America squarely in the middle of a Muslim sectarian war, and there is no way to win. And it is only going to get much, much worse. If you think it's bad now, you wait until Iran and Russia start ramping things up. I told you recently the world is choosing sides. The world is dividing up the land. Things are about to change. I told you that World War III was coming as a result. I told you about the caliphate years ago, and they mocked me, and here we come. And now, when I tell you World War III is coming, they mock me again. But as the situation continues to escalate, the eyes are opening. Let me show you this from the Daily Telegraph in London. Could Syria ignite World War III? That's a terrifying question as the hatred between two Muslim ideologies sucks in the world's superpowers. Are we crazy? The answer is yes. The Middle East is on fire, and it is so volatile right now. In Turkey, the Prime Minister just widened his crackdown on anti-government protesters. What do you think this president is going to do? Even the medics who were trying to help the injured protesters, they cracked down on them. This is the worst violence after 3 weeks continue to protest. 400 people were detained yesterday alone. If Turkey devolves into further violence, the Middle East will beg for the days where Hamas was lobbing just a few rockets here and there. Nothing in Washington makes sense. John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, all of them. All of them. What they are doing on both sides of the aisle is certifiably insane. No one wants the United States mixed up in all of this. Not a single one of us. No one, left or right. So where is the opposition? Where are those who, in retrospect, were right to question George W. Bush and say, what have Iraqis ever done to us? Well, try this. I think this one's from Michael Moore, is it not? Walk out in the White House and any street in America and try to find 5 people who are passionate about wanting to kill Iraqis. You won't find them. Why? Because no Iraqis have ever come here and killed any of us. Okay, I don't like Michael Moore. I disagree with Michael Moore. He's right now. What has Syria done to us? 93,000 people they'll point to. There's no way to win. What has Libya ever done to us? Quote, I am devastated by the fact that we are going to war. New York Times, that's the New York Times. Where's the devastation now? On the eve of what could be a global catastrophe. Quote, that's what I am opposed to. A dumb war, a rash war, a war based not on reason but on passion, not on principle but on politics. Where is that guy? Is he a victim of the government machine? Is he being controlled? Because the current sitting president stirring up the Middle East is not the same person that was a senator from Illinois. America, I think you have learned your lesson. I know I have. But those in Washington have not. We are getting into bed with terrorists. Bad, bad. They make Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden look like the lollipop guild. There is no good side in this fight. And we're on the wrong side. But there are two wrong sides. We shouldn't be on a horse in this race. There is no truth. There is no justice on either side in Syria. It is terrorists versus tyrants. I decided on Friday that I am going to go back to Washington. I haven't done a rally or asked you to come to Washington.